Hey everyone, hello! Welcome to Magnolias. This is the live DIY design day. Hey, thanks for joining me. Jump on, say hello. If you're watching this in playback, it's probably because you have picked up one of our amazing kits and you're going to rewatch to get your tutorial on how to put it together. So I'm, like I said, I'm Amy here at Magnolias Warehouse in Norfolk, Nebraska.
Here's your tour guide for the day.
And the person who will be dropping all the links.
Yes.
Kate.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to drop links to these items. If you're watching it in playback, I will probably have timestamps of what time everything starts, so you can jump forward if you look at the timestamps in the product in the description. And all of these kits are available online at shopmagnoliasonline.com until they sell out. Once one component of a kit sells out, the whole kit is unavailable. In the product description, everything used in the kit is linked. So if you're watching this kit and you say, I just want that gorgeous jeweled fern stem, it is linked in the kit description with Kayla did it all, so
Yes, she did. So
she got it all ready for you, you guys. So
Kate's gonna check and make sure everything is working, and you're all jumping on, saying hello, good morning, good morning.
We got
hello,
our
happy
coffees.
Saturday.
We have water. We have about 30 kits today.
We have a lot to get to today. We are going to be designing all of these combinations, which include drop-ins, porch pots, table tray swags, garlands, lantern toppers, and wreaths. So it'll be a fun day. We are going to be starting with something pretty easy. I'm also taping my wires today, if you're noticing what I'm doing here.
Yes.
And the taping of the wires is because I like 20 gauge wire. It's about my favorite weight of wire. We do sell this in bundles of 5. I forget what we charge for that. But you'll be able to grab the wire, or if you buy kits, I think Kayla made the bundles of 5 wires part of every kit. It's inexpensive, but you need it. Is your mic on? Yes.
I think so.
We are both on. Yes. Okay.
My voice is a little toady yet, but I'll wake up, I promise.
I tape my wires by laying the tape, pinching the tape around the end of the wire at an angle to get it started. You have to pull the tape to activate it, no matter how you use it. That's just the way it goes. And then I roll my tape into the wire. I angle out my tape to keep it taut and stretched, and simultaneously I am twisting like this motion and rolling my wire into my tape. Everybody tries to wrap the tape around the wire. It's the way you want to do it is to roll the tape into the wire. It's hard to demonstrate because you can't see that it's actually twisting, but that is how you cover the wire with minimal amount of tape quickly and tight, by rolling it in. So that's my trick for the day. I don't know if you caught that. It's one of those things you have to practice. Just like tying bows. Taping wires is equally challenging and has a technique.
Lots of people hopping on this morning. Good morning, Stephanie and Pat, Christine, Barb, Brenda. Ruth said, woohoo, marathon DIY.
Yeah, we're ready to go. We got the coffee. We are at the warehouse. We're next door to a coffee.
Yes.
So this is good news.
That's always handy. Good morning, Sharon. She said the trees are beautiful. Good morning, Diane and Cheryl and Debbie and Sharon. I always love to say hello because we appreciate when you say hello.
Thank you.
Julia and Sue, Tina, Renee, Terry, hey, and Carol and Tennessee.
Is going to drop, are you going to tell me the stems? Can we go through the stems?
So I will drop a link to the kit, and then if you click on that link, everything that is used is listed and hyperlinked. So you'll be able...
What I meant was, do you want to go through the pieces?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready for the first one?
We are. This first one is called, do you have it already?
Yep. It's called the Flurries and Fun Drop-In Kit. This kit's regular price is $67. For DIY weekend, it's only $57. This one includes the opal bead spray.
Love this guy.
Beautiful. The jeweled glitter fern spray. The splash of splendor bush.
Oh, that's what that's called.
2 winter spruce picks.
I love this color, and the size is super convenient.
And 2 glittering gold long needle pine sprays.
There we go. So when we are doing drop-ins, I'm starting with that because it's one of the easiest things to do. We're going to be able to design it, and then we're going to put it in a vase to check how we love it. One thing about designing a drop-in that might be helpful is I always encourage my designers here to choose the vase that they're making the drop-in for. Don't just randomly make a drop-in. Make it fit a certain vase, and we always suggest a vase with things too, because if you're designing with the vase in mind, you're going to get the proportions better rather than just having it fit who knows what, and you're also going to be able to hands-free start arranging this. Otherwise you've got to hold it in your hand until you get to the point of wire, right? So we're going to do that first. We're going to drop this bush in the base of the vase. I think that shaping this one's been shaped a little bit, is going to be a good first step because it's going to come flat out of a package. And shaping is what I'm always preaching about, right? You have to shape your stems out. If they stay flat, any of these stems and segments stay flat and squished together, you're not going to have a softer, more realistic look. So I'm just going to go over it one more time. Soften, drape, shape, separate. Give everything a little bit of a curve, loosen it up, make it look fuller. There we go. Next up is the jeweled fern spray, because I need that to go straight up the middle. I'm actually, for this vase, going to cut this off a little bit. And by the way, the vase that we're using isn't linked, because this one does not have the title on it. I wonder if she linked a vase for this one. We're going to cut off about, for my vase, I need to cut 4 inches of this off. And I want the jeweled spray to go straight up the center, so I'm actually kind of fishing it around the middle point of the little bush here so that it stays in the center and the center fern frond is supported next to the center of the Splendor drop-in. And that is a good start. Now this fern is so full and pretty, it's super easy to use. We're gonna put that in, but you know, this stuff and this stuff snag on each other. So let's put the sparkling little crystal berry stem here. And this piece is opalescent. By the way, it has an amazing candle ring that coordinates with it. So if you like matching things, the candle ring that matches this bush and the candle ring that matches this stem can be layered together as a coordinating design element with this drop-in when you're displaying it. You might want to grab all of those elements. And I did have them in the room the other day, but did Carol put all our stuff away? So we don't have the candle rings from this collection from a couple of days ago? It's all gone? Okay.
No, you just do that one. That's okay.
I'll
There's a
just
lot
talk
of kids
about
to get
it.
through.
I'll just talk about how you should check that out. Okay, matching candle rings for both of these. So there we've got the jeweled piece in the middle. Now I know when I start sticking these stems in that we will get the, we'll hopefully nestle it in there without too much snagging. This is gonna be a bit long. I'm gonna cut off about 2 inches because I want the bottom of this stem to come right to the top of the vase to help it look full. There you go, just like that. 1 on each side of the center, a couple inches off of this one, on that side of the center, and oh, you know what else I'm gonna need? The turntable today.
Okay, where's that at?
Good question.
Okay.
That is something I did not think about, but
Okay, I'll go look.
it's not the end of the world if we don't have it. So then the little cedar sprays are already shaped open. You definitely want to fan those apart here. Cedar sprays, fir sprays, whatever pine they are, they come with the pine cone. And the pine cone is helpful because it's going to help balance in your vase. And I'm actually going to turn it, instead of sticking it in this way, I'm going to stick it in this way so the pine cone sticks to the outside of my drop-in. And I'm going to tuck it under and around and pull something through it here because we don't want it standing over there all by itself. We want to make sure he gets integrated. So I'm pulling a couple of items in through that pine spray and do this one exactly opposite on the other side. There you go. Basically, that is all the elements that we're putting in this design today. Doesn't take much sometimes, and I wanted to start out easy. So this first one, which again was called the Flurries and Fun Drop-In, is on sale for around $57. It is an easy one. All we have to do is wire it up. And the other tip about wiring, so I'm using one of my taped wires here. I'm also going to use my flat nose pliers. We do talk about these pliers in my online tutorials on Teachable, my courses that we have. We list the names of the tools. I do like a flat nose pliers, which can be a regular old pliers. Doesn't have to be a lineman's pliers, but it helps you twist your wire tight. We're gonna lift this up, and instead of wiring immediately at the top of the vase, we're gonna wire about 1 inch or 1.5 inches below the top of the vase. And the reason is, if you wire too high, you will pull all your stems together and they will flop around in the vase like this when you wire it, because you have not let them widen up at the neck of the vase. So we want to make that joint, the joining of all the stems, a little lower than the top of the vase in order to retain the flare and not close it up tighter. Once we get one little wire in place here, and you can see I'm really twisting it tight with my pliers, I'm going to drop the wire down another inch and make another wrap a little lower so that we've got wire separating from each other. If you just put one wire around, or even a glob of wire only at one point on your stem, your stems will spin and twist out of that. If you have 2 wires, they will be secure. 2 different areas, 1 inch apart, things will not be spinning around on you. So that would be secure to me. We have a little extra wire. We'll lose that off to the side. Then we're gonna hide it up with a little bendy vine. So bendy vine is sold separately. It's not listed, and I did not remember to tell Kayla to recommend it or suggest it.
But it's easy to find online. Just search bendy vine, and you'll get all of our options popping right up.
You will. So this particular strand is 1950, and it's the wrapped twig garland. This is a light colored one, which works good for this tone. It does a few different things for the design. You don't have to have it. It is optional, but in this vase, you would never know, and our piece is balancing and sitting nicely. If your vase has a wider neck and you swirl a little bit of this inside the vase, your vine, which is wired, creates sort of a ligature to help it balance. So when you put it in the vase and you loosely loop this wire, it actually becomes a support system to help your design stay centered in a wider mouth vase. So that's one of the reasons we use it. The other reason is if it goes in a clear glass vase, you will have something to see kind of loosely swirling around the stems. I never bind it tightly all the way down. I always have a little loose leg of it. So this is your design completed. And this is the Flurries and Fun drop-in. So it's an easy one, guys. You can do this one at home. Everyone can do this one, right? It's pretty easy. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We're just completing our first drop-in today. Did we find out the name of this
Yep,
vase?
I already dropped a link to it and
Perfect.
linked it in the kit description.
Okay, so we keep going.
Yes, so if you're just joining us, DIY Weekend, we're doing a live design marathon. We're live for around 6 hours today. 2 hours on, an hour off, 2 hours on, an hour off, 2 hours on. And all of these kits are 15% off, and all of our stems are 15% off. That includes Christmas. It's a little early, I know. We're kind of giving you a deal even though it's really early in the season. But we thought, you know what, we're just going to go with it because that's what we do for DIY Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So 15% off all of our stems every day, Christmas and winter. And then we have 15% off containers, which are our vases and our planters. So if you wanted to get a container, if you need a vase for a drop-in, this one's 15% off. That is a really good deal to snag. So go ahead and check that out in the online store. Like Rosalie, a lot of people have already placed orders this morning. I noticed a lot of carts getting filled last night.
Oh.
And then when my text went out this morning, letting
ready?
everyone know that the sale was live, it was like mass checkouts. So that was pretty fun.
You
to
were
watch.
ready. Look at you guys.
We were
go.
ready. So
okay.
all of the DIY Weekend kits, stems, and containers are 15% off today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday through the 27th, midnight Central Time. And then we'll go on to our next design here, but I just want to give you the lowdown.
Kim says, woohoo! Woohoo! Are we ready for number 2?
Yes.
So number 2 design is going to.
I think I need to photograph this one.
Where'd the tag go? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's right there. I think it wasn't designed yet, so I need to photograph it.
It was. I mean, you just assembled it just now.
I disassembled it.
The Made with Love garland. Okay, this is the Made with Love garland. It is regular price $90. And the Made with Love garland is going to be small enough here that it will become a table runner if you would like, or a short mantle runner. You could bend it around the top of a mirror, a corner of a mirror. It's going to be a versatile piece. And we're starting out first with this garland. This beautiful collection. This is not the coniferous garland. This is the...
Hold on, I'm getting the links.
She's getting the links.
So we have the Frosted Pine Cedar Garland.
Is it 5 feet long?
Don't know. You're asking a lot of questions, Mom. I haven't finished my coffee yet.
Yes, okay. We will
Frosted Pine
estimate
Cedar
that it's
garland.
4 feet.
The 2 Platinum Glitter Gypso Sprays.
There we are.
2 Glitter and Sequin Cedar Sprays.
Here we go.
And 1 Champagne Shiny Stem Ball Bunch of 6.
And I disassembled a bunch. They will come
Optional
like this.
add-on is floral wire if you need it, is linked, and the micro LED snow garland.
Ah, we're going to add that at the end.
Yes.
Don't let me forget to show that.
I mean, I like that you think I'm all-knowing, but I don't remember these things.
She generally is all-knowing. And Kayla has helped me put this together. All of these components into the computer. So when you see these online, it is a team effort. Sometimes we have to adjust and modify. But first you want to open up your garland. So this garland looks to me to be about 4 feet long. And it is a very this is aggressively chunky. Let's talk about how chunky this garland is. So this has heavy chunks of snow and ice on it. And you do want to open it up so that you can lay in your extra materials, meaning lift and separate these pine sprays apart because you're going to lay some things in there, wire it, and then sort of tuck it back together. I also want to point out on any garland I design that everything always has a one-directional effect with a nice tip on one end and a hanger of sorts or a stem base on the other end, which is not particularly attractive. So just take the tips from the, try to hide that little stem end. Sometimes if it's a little hanger, I cut it off. I always pull some of the tips backwards that direction to give it a similar finish to the other end. Just depends on the type of garland. There's tricks for every type. So now we're gonna space out our components. So I did cut the stems to get this photograph. I had to cut some of the stem length off. I've left a little bit here. What you have is a taped or paper wrapped sort of stem. This one stays together. It is not coming apart at all. So this one I would cut it off and not worry about it. It looks like it's totally secure. But both of these are going to fill your garland, but the trick to making them stretch a little bit wider is to pull this bottom piece backwards like so. This also has a top and a bottom, so I better pay attention here. The glitters and sequin pieces are on the top surface of the spray, not the back side. And by doing that, look how much longer we made it. So if we do that to each one and then tuck it into the center, we're running the stem right down the center piece of that garland. We're going to flip this one backwards also. So I'm putting the natural point out towards the end of the garland, letting these flip down pieces come together in the middle. And I'll have to just keep sliding it around and showing you. We're going to do the same thing with this gypso. So it has 3 different segments. We cut it off short. The stem is plastic. Nothing's going to unravel. We're going to lay back this bottom piece on each stem. So then you're going to get this sort of scenario. And we're also going to lay that down. Maybe this one, I will flip the doubles to the inside to make it fuller and let the single go to the outside. Your choice, but that's what I'm going to do here. And again, with this one, flip that back, put the single this way. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to wire this in. So the stem will be hidden in my design once I get that wired down. And I would expect this is going to take probably 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 6 areas of wire to secure it properly, would be my guess. But by stacking it all together first, you will just be putting wire on one time. You won't be laying in one component and then wiring and then laying in another and wiring again. And because we have 6 stem balls, I'm just going to group them together in 2s. So take 2 stem balls and pre-twist them together in a pair. There we go. Trying to struggle with that. Okay, this is what I mean. Twist 2 of them together and they're gonna lay over top and be part of our wire up construction here. Twist those two together. And you're gonna want one in the center, one at, where are we gonna put them? Maybe 10 inches in from the end and one in the middle here. That would look nice for balance. It looks like on this garland, that puts the little ball cluster right next to the largest pine cone in the middle too, which is really pretty. It's got chunky ice on it. And then we're also gonna need a few pieces of brown. I use brown tape wire. This one, it wouldn't matter what color you taped your wire. I always try to use a tape that is going to blend and hide. You get the idea on taping. So let's just wire this middle one in first. I would lay the stem balls, take the two ends because I've twisted them together. Now there's an end going each direction, and just tuck it in where he needs to be wired, which in this case is next to the pine cone. Give it a couple of twists just by hand. This one is not holding any stems down. The stems start a little ways back. And then there's a bit of extra wire to trim off. So that's number one. Trim it off a little shorter, tuck the end in. Let's move down to this stem ball set over here. This time it is going across not only the pine base, but the two different stems that we laid in. So it's helping to secure the two stems on top of the pine base. We're gonna twist it behind. I noticed if you pull too hard on these stem balls, they could pop off the wires. So we're just gonna hand twist that and then use these wires to really tighten and secure. I'm gonna lay this wire, it's just a little short scrap piece, over top the pine, the white stem, the gypso stem, come around at the back and give it a good twist with my pliers so that that one's secure. What you wanna do is just make sure you get the ends of your wire stems secured so that when you bend and flex this garland, the end does not pop up like this. So that's my sign right there that I wanna hit a wire at the end of that stem so it doesn't go winging out when you try to curve this around your mirror. Morning, everybody. I am letting Kate take your comments today. Thanks so much for hanging out. I am going to keep designing for a couple hours here. Isn't that great? You guys can hang in as long as you want, or you can watch it and replay. The name of the game here is these are the designs sold in the DIY kit collection. If you would like to take a product, a little garland like this, for instance, purchase it in kit form, jump back in and rewatch this video when you receive it. I will be reminding you how to put them together. So that works out great for us. You get to try your hand at designing, fun for you. And everybody seems to love these DIY days. So you might be a seasoned designer, you might be a newbie. Seems like everyone learns something, and if not, it's just great entertainment, right? You can just hang out with us today. One more wire over here on this end to catch the loose piece. And then what I'm going to say is you want to be sure to integrate all these stems together. So I'm going to take the pine that I laid open in order to place the stems, and I'm going to lift a couple of these things up a bit, pull these back in a bit, and this is going to work out great. So we've got,
I love the Holiday Harmony collection. Just that little bit of ice is so pretty, the champagne, the opalescent elements. And what's cool too, if you put this down your dining table, nestle in some candlesticks around it. You can feed it through a large lantern if you have it on a mantle. It is very versatile. Someone said they wanted to put it on their shower curtain. Top that would be fun.
Yes, as if you, when your shower curtain closed though, you're gonna have an ice fall out.
Well, yeah.
That would be pretty. Maybe it's just the bathroom everybody looks at. The powder bath, right?
I have one of those.
You have a bathroom everybody looks at.
Yeah. But it's really a pretty versatile design, and that base garland is really structured and really nice and stiff. So if you have like an arched mirror or a piece of art you want to put it over, it will really definitely bend to the shape you want. I also love using garlands on blanket ladders, just kind of sweeping down. It's actually one of the most beautiful ways to look at a garland because you're looking at it face on. So that's always really fun if you have one of those. I know I have lots of blankets in my house, so she must have a blanket ladder. but there's lots of versatility with garlands. They make great gifts as well because you can put them on your table, your kitchen island, on top of your kitchen cabinet or an entertainment center cabinet. You can put them, you know, hanging or laying or whatever.
She's got a pretty good list going, yes.
Yeah, very versatile.
So again, this is the Made with Love garland, and it was regular price $90. So with our sale today, not only can you purchase these items,
It's $76 today.
15% off, which is $76. You can grab any stems. So if you want to grab stems for your tree, for instance, today through Sunday night, if you're watching this in a replay, Sunday being the 27th, I don't know what day it is. I am in full-blown Christmas mode. We are working 7 days. I am working 7 days a week. Kate's been hanging in there with me.
I work 6 days a week. I have a hard stop on Sundays.
I bet you think about work on Sundays.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
It's the only day my brain isn't fried.
When you're an owner, you think about it all the time. That's how that goes. So this is my last piece of wire.
But I actively ignore those thoughts.
Do you?
Or I just write it down so it's out of my mind.
I just send her emails all day long as I think of things.
Great.
So
yeah.
on Monday morning, she gets a stack of emails
Yes.
about all kinds of topics.
Gibberish.
Gibberish?
Yep. Oh yeah, Kim, you can use a shower rod in the doorway is what she's saying.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually thought about doing that this year.
That's
at
the
my
TikTok
house.
thing, right?
Yes.
Okay,
I thought about
guys.
doing that at my house this year. I don't know if
Did you?
I have time.
We can come up with something more original than everybody else's TikTok idea. Let's think of something new. Let's think of something new. So this is what we're going to use, the LED, the micro LED snow garland as an add-on option. This is an exceptionally cool thing. We've carried them in years past, and they are great little accent pieces. Now this is going to mean if you're using this electric cord, you won't be able to run it down the center of your dining table, but it could go on your fireplace mantle or wherever else. This is going to come off of the roll, and it wants to spiral, so I just let it spiral. It also has a 10-foot cord, and I guess we're going to need to let that drop so I can get it plugged in.
Do you want me to plug it in?
I think I can reach right here. And it is
I'll drop a link to
a
this
light, tiny little fairy light woven in here, LED of course, and it's warm. This is a regular priced item, not a sale item today, but it is a cool addition. See how it wants to spiral? You just sort of tuck it. Tuck it in there. Don't fight with what it wants to do for shape. Let's just go with it. And also, there's little wingy pieces, so you can lift those out. It's easy to do. And that way, if we put this up on the fireplace, I guess you would have to rearrange and plug it. But now you've gotten a good look at how easy it goes in. It's the perfect length. This is one of my favorite little accent wire lights. So cute.
Very
Look at
versatile
this.
little light strings.
Now just need some deer, some candlesticks, some pretty Santa Clauses, some accessories, whatever you've got in your Christmas decor lineup that will benefit from a little greenery. So again, that's the Made with Love garland. You can grab that and pop in those extra components. Watch this video when you get them. It'll be easy to do.
We make all of our kits easy as possible. We might have some more challenging ones, but most of them are pretty easy peasy and you can just enjoy
We're
them.
working our way up.
There it is. There's your kit, you guys. So you can purchase the kit online and then you can recreate the design at home.
Here is your tag.
Thank you.
We're gonna
Flex
get
your
the
creative
splitter.
muscles. No, the lights are not 15% off. They're regular.
They are regular price lights,
Yeah.
and we do have lots of different kinds of lights today.
It's 15% off our stems, our kits, and our vases and planters today. So it's just kind of a good optional add-on that we thought just really helps the design light up. Literally.
The Joy to the World swag. Okay.
Okay, I'm not quite ready for you yet. Let me get that link up. So if you're just joining us, I had lots of people saying hello. I like to be quiet while you're designing. That way if they go back and watch the replay, it's less distracting.
So we appreciate you are here. We don't get to greet you all by name today while we focus on your designs, but welcome everyone. You know, we always enjoy having you, and the visitors who get to come meet us personally Love, love, love that. 'Tis the season if you're aiming for anything special to come and attend. November 3rd, a Sunday, is our official holiday open house.
That's 1 week.
1 week from
my
tomorrow. And if you want to head our way, you can stay in town if you want to. We're open on Saturday too. We would love to always know you're coming and be able to greet you when you arrive. Yesterday we had a surprise visitor. Karen Pokup and her husband stopped by from North Platte, which is, what did we decide, Karen, 4 hours away perhaps? It was a long ways, and I appreciate that they made the little stop, and her husband rerouted to come see us before they headed home.
Yes.
It was very fun.
So
to get to
then
meet her.
I'm going to get the link to this next kit here. And FYI, so like the micro LED lights, everything used is linked in the product description. So I'm going to make sure that this one's photographed here now that it is. But you can also just search on our website, micro LED, and it'll pop right up. Or I can drop a link again once I'm all caught up. But I have a feeling I'm going to get a little behind. Okay, are we ready for the next design?
We are.
This is the Joy to the World's swag kit. Regular price was $66. The sale price for the 26th and 27th is only $56. You
Great.
get $10 off. It includes the glitter and sequin cedar spray,
That would be this white we just used.
the opal bead spray,
We're giving it a go again.
the frosted pine cedar spray ×2,
So this is the exact match to the garland. This is the coordinating spray.
the ball drop magnolia pick.
And
Love.
those micro beads.
Stunning, stunning magnolia. The ice leaf bundle,
That would be this little baby.
and the glittering gold cedar spray.
There we go.
Optional add-on floral wire is also linked in the kit description there for you.
Sold in a bundle of 5 wires. So back to this chunky stem, it is the same components. They do have a touch of blue. You can trim it off if somehow it really messes with your design, but we just let it be in there. Our look, the Holiday Harmony collection, is blues and greens and aqua with champagne, frost, and snow, so it works right in. I'm gonna take both of the picks and place them end to end. Easy peasy. That makes our swag base. This swag can be hung vertically, horizontally. You can plan it to be a table piece, whatever you're planning to use it as. You probably want to double check as you're designing that you're getting it to look good the way you want to display it. And then just like the other one that we used earlier, we're gonna take this stem and bend the bottom piece back. So we will get a 3-part section that will end up looking like this, and we can lose most of the stem here. It's not gonna unravel. This one seems to stay really well. And that is gonna be a nice, background is the longest, one of the longest pieces. We're gonna put the long pieces on the bottom. This is a stack and then wire setup. So I'm not gonna wire as I go. We're just gonna stack everything in place and then go over it with a few wires. It'll work out just fine. This one also needs to lose the stem. And it's over here. Bend these pieces backwards. These are gonna go out. So when you place them, you can see our stems are truly just stacking right on top of each other. That's the goal, because you wanna put a wire over them. After you get it wired, then you shape them. Let's see, we're gonna lay in these little babies. So if you pull on it, I think you can, there you go, pull them apart. So we can lay one sticking out one end. It's got a very fine wire, so make sure you remember to get it caught when you're wiring it together. They look like they're all the same, and there's 3 sections, so we're just gonna lay one each end, and then this one's kind of gonna be the middle. It'll get pulled up around the flower. So I'm just literally giving it a bend like this and laying it in there so I don't forget to wire that in place. Then let's lay this gorgeous beaded stem. We don't want to bury it, so it's going to be up on the top. This is one, if you do cut it, it will unravel. It's kind of like a silver mylar tape. So just spiral it and it will become a little bit of a decorative spiral, much better than fighting with it and trying to cut this heavy gauge wire. We will not disrupt its wiring and make a mess. So then this little guy, it doesn't really matter which way you go with it. It will work regardless. So we're gonna tuck that in around here too. It's just stacking all my stems, making sure when I get my wires in place, I'm gonna be covering across all of those to secure them. And then lastly, stacking our flower, which also has paper wrapped stem. It's short, a little short stem. Just give it a swirl. That is the easiest way to deal with him. And you're gonna need to make sure he has 2 wires, not just one. You're gonna wanna hit it with 2 wires when you go in to wire it. That way it won't flop around. It'll be more secure. So let's do that. And he's tucked in. So now our stack is ready to go. We've got our taped wires. If you missed the last segment and you're taping your wires only in an effort to make them grip better and look a little more professional, it is not a necessary step. You can use naked wires, it is no big deal. And just a little professional tip, I'm here to teach you the secrets of the pros, right? So that's why. Now I'm gonna get the first wire smack dab across the center, double checking as I do so that I'm not missing going across any of the stems. And then to the back, I can see that I've come across all of it. Tighten it up. There we go. And then working my way out, I'm gonna probably move a couple of inches down and get another wire across the rest of the stems a couple of inches down. So on either side of the center, if I have one about 2 inches from the left side of the center, 2 inches down from the right side of the center, it will become my hanger. These 2 extra wires sticking out the back can be fastened into a bar hanger by twisting them together. So that will mean I'm placing a total of 3 wires on this swag.
Kathy's wondering, you prefer zip tie or you prefer wires instead of zip ties?
In the floral industry, zip ties aren't considered a professional finish, so I was never taught to use zip ties. And once you get onto something, you really don't change a lot. So I see people use zip ties. I'm sure they're fine. But if I am professionally trained, and that would be considered a faux pas in a high-end shop.
She also insists on hand tying bows.
Right. So
it's one of those things you cannot teach an old dog new
that's
things.
just what I was gonna say. Old dog, new tricks. Nope, can't learn it. But I'm sure zip ties work fine. I've also seen people online use pipe cleaners. You could use a pipe cleaner.
I would think that'd be too slippery.
Pipe cleaners are fuzzy, so they're gonna probably grip each other nicely also, the ends. I have not used either.
Okay.
So you
As
can
long as
do it
we are
however you
making
want.
stuff for shipping as well, so we know it has to make it across the U.S.
There you
in
go.
one piece and be as fluffed as possible and everything stay exactly where we put it. So we really wire
The
everything
mechanics,
really good.
the mechanics of our designs require some
Yes.
pretty secure methods. Where if it's just going to be going from your kitchen counter over to your dining table and that's its life, then it's
Yeah.
no big deal.
The garland on my half wall railing, that is just a garland with stems set in it. That's not even wired at all. So just very different from your personal use
Right.
to professional use. So you just kind of do whatever works for you.
So now as we pull these stems up and shape, there is some discussion about whether or not you want ribbon. I don't know that Kayla suggested a ribbon or a bow. We might
I
have
don't think it needs it personally,
talked
but you
about
can
it.
never go wrong with the beautiful 2.5-inch ribbon, or 1.5-inch ribbon. Sorry, I'll drop a link to
I
the
brought
one
some
I'm
ribbon
looking
in here with me. Where did I put that? Somewhere. Here it is. There are
at.
pre-made
Right next to
bows.
you.
Right next to me. There are pre-made bows like this harmony bow, which could be tucked. If you placed it, I would kind of tuck it around the flower
I'm
there.
trying to find a name for the other one I'm thinking of. Here it is, the linen gold petals ribbon. It is a 1.5-inch ribbon, which I gravitate towards that size.
The size, we have several different types. This little opalescent one, if you wanted to wind that through, would pick up the opalescent bead spray. You could also do gold, you could do a blue. This narrow ribbon works good if you're just threading things. So this particular bolt does not
I think
have
it's
a
called
price on it.
Santa Mail,
Okay.
Santa Baby, or Santa something. Let me scroll and look. Team Santa. Darn, I was close. Team Santa sparkle ribbon is
Okay.
14.
You'd probably
which
just
is $1.45 a yard.
you just run a little piece through here, spiraling. And you could also insert a full-blown bow into the center. Otherwise, if it's just spiral, you just sort of lift and tuck it through and let it wind. That would be how we'd finish it off. So this versatile little swag here can hang, it can lay on a tray. I'm going to use that large lantern if you can reach it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to scooch out of frame here because I'm like,
She's in the way.
I can't turn. Okay, so you want the large lantern?
Whichever large lantern you want to hand me, we're going to just lay this in through a lantern. This is one of my favorites. I have this one in black. The large beaded handle is really funky. I love it. This is $68. This is a regular priced item today, and it is the white bead handle lantern. So if we just sort of roll it in there, it will fit, and then you would have room to add a tall accent. And perhaps you would just get this extra bow to the top. That would be another theory. It can hang up on the lantern itself as an accent piece up above. This just needs something tall, and I don't think I've got anything that's going to go in there. Aside from, we have talked about this Panzano lantern, which does come in a taller size, and this can hold a Fia flame and become a light holder, and that would sit in there perfectly. So there's an idea for display. But otherwise, this little floral piece is easier to make. You stack it, you wire it, and it becomes an instant wow factor that you can say you made. Wouldn't that be more fun? There we go. So I'm going to set this over on our stand behind me here. And again, that one was called the Joy to the World swag on sale today.
Beautiful.
Here's your tag. I think you have to put it down there.
Yeah.
We
I
are
really don't need the tag.
stacking up a whole collection of holiday harmony. Now, if you stick with us for the day or you watch it in replay, you'll see that we have florals for all 5 of our key collections. And those looks are, we got this wreath behind me here.
That one? Okay.
Those looks are all coordinating. I have to quickly disassemble this wreath here
No biggie.
to show
So
you.
while Mom disassembles that, I want to tell you the sale of 15% off stems, kits, and containers is today and tomorrow, the 26th and 27th. It ends the 27th at midnight Central Time, so as soon as the clock changes, the sale will end. The sale is including Christmas stems are on sale, our winter pine is on sale, all of our single stems and bushes are included in that, and our everyday stems are on sale as well. We also have a sale on vases and containers. Do I have a vase like these guys? So any vase you see on the website, planter, it's automatic. You don't have to do anything. I will tease you that the sale does include our best-selling favorite Paulownia wood vase is included in this sale at 15% off.
You should probably display that with my next drop-in.
Yeah.
I have to make that drop-in in there.
Yep.
There's one over there.
So that is included. It's all automatic. If you think something should be on sale but it's not quite working, send the store a message. But it's all automatic. I've gone through the website with a fine-tooth comb. I'm still updating a few things, but it should all be set up. It does stack with petal points, or you'll earn points on it. What else? The fall stems are still 40% off.
They are, including the mum bushes, which have sold out in one color, perhaps.
I think they have sold out in one color. And then this wreath kit, I'm just going to pull this up so I'm ready to go.
You can tell Kate helped me design all the wreath kits, or all the kits for Holiday Harmony, because they have this bead in them.
Sorry.
So if you like things that coordinate, then this is going to be the Cozy Winter Wishes wreath. And this is a coordinating look to the garland and all of the components we've just been creating. This is obviously the matching pine wreath in a 24-inch diameter. Isn't it full? It's so full, it'll look amazing on your door, just with a few embellishments.
So
it also could be a table piece.
That is the Frosted Pine Center wreath. Then we have 2 opal bead sprays.
Right, these heavy acrylic sprays.
2 Champagne Wonder leaf sprays. And 2 opal weave snowflake ornaments.
Oh, over here, these
Over
little
there.
guys.
And 1 champagne charm bow.
And the bow is included in this kit because I
Yes.
feel like it just needs it. Sometimes on the rest of the day, you're going to see some things that are just suggested, but this one's going to be included. Okay, we're ready to design it. So this wreath has been shaped a little bit. What you want to do is pull the pieces open and lift and separate them out. If it's coming to you flat in a package, it certainly has been flattened in some way, shape, or form. So let's lift and separate. By doing that, it also allows us to get our stems laying down next to the wire of the wreath. We want these little stems to be near the wire form. In fact, we want them to curve and follow the shape of the wire form. So I'm going to cut off some here and lose the length of the stems. And we're going to lay those. Now I'm going to pick the spot where my bow should go because I don't want it to end up that the bow's trying to fight for space with these big pine cones. So it looks to me like these 2 pine cones are sort of down that way. I'm going to put my bow up here, and then we're going to radiate these stems away from the bow. So I'm going to go this way and this way and get them tucked in and allow the bow to take up some of the real estate at the top of the wreath. So these guys just need to wiggle down in there so that the wire stem of the spray will be laying along the frame of the wreath, and that's what I'm going to be wiring it to. But before I wire this one, I'm going to place it, tuck it in there, and then add the bead spray over the top so that we're wiring them both at once, of course. That'll be the key. So get them down next to the frame, otherwise your wire is going to be, you'll be fighting to get the wire to secure to something. So far we haven't really needed our glue today yet, but we'll be getting there. And I'm not going to cut this stem, I'm just going to lay it down in there. Same concept, curving the base of it, grabbing it near the stem. There we go. It'll look amazing with the light when you hang this outside or inside. The ice chunks, the bead spray, the glitter, it's all going to catch the light. You could use this as an outdoor wreath if you wanted to. I would just keep it in a protected area. Most pieces do better if they're not getting rained and snowed on, but we do carry some outdoor safe products in the event that's the area it needs to go at your house. There we go. So then, before I get my bow, I'm going to take advantage of the open spot down here to see my stems laying along the frame of the wreath and get those secured with some wire so that they're not going to go flinging out. And you can wire them on the back, or in this case, I'm going to pull them from the back to the front and wire it on top here. There we go. Not a difficult thing, just a lot of wire properly placed, a little bit of time, and you'll have your design good to go. Hopefully several of you have in the past grabbed kits, know how easy it is, and you're going to give it a go again. That is potentially what I see people do, is if you enjoy it, you probably will have opportunities 3 or 4 a year to be able to do DIY kits with us. We just keep them up seasonally. We have the Christmas ones now. Our plan is to continue later on with some winter looks too, if you like this idea.
Oh no, everyone heard me sneeze. That's gonna live on the internet forever, sorry. Oh, good morning everyone. So this kit, again, if you're just hopping on, this beautiful piece is the Cozy Winter Wishes Wreath Kit. Regular price is $143, and if you buy the kit online, today and tomorrow it's on sale, and you get everything you see to recreate the design at home. So we're basically giving you all the pieces, just like paint by numbers, and you're gonna put it together and get the finished product. So the measurements and things will come out a little differently. I'm adding measurements after the fact, but you're gonna shape it a little differently than Mom has here. So it'll be unique to you, just slightly different. But we try to make it easy so you can flex your creative muscles and recreate these pieces at home.
This one, the wreath has so much going on with it already, it did not need a lot of embellishment. Here I'm trying to place my bow carefully around this small pine cone. It's sort of fighting for room there. And we're wiring that bow to the frame. That'll be my top. Now this wreath, you could add a hanger. I'm not going to take the time today, but it's up for debate whether you actually need a hanger when your wreath has a metal frame, because of course an over the door hanger works with this metal frame. A screw in the wall will hold the metal frame, up to you. We put hangers on anything we design, mostly as well to indicate the top. So here the bow will be at the top the way I've designed it. You could do it differently if you wanted to, actually.
I love an askew bow.
Askew? Asymmetrically placed, yes. Perhaps at the bottom, perhaps. You get the idea. We do have to wiggle the tails down in there because they are fighting for room here with these big pine cones. Fortunately, the wired ribbon allows you to sort of bump and swoop it around. Good stuff. We've got some great ribbon this year. It's not an expensive collection. Most of it is very low priced. Some of the special ones that I pick up because they just make the look work could be up to $40 for 10 yards, but the majority of them are under 20 or under 30. There's just some great value here. This is a heavy silk look and a blingy champagne and silver combo. Let's hold this up and have you take a look. There, you see what I mean by shaping that nice weight wire? It's heavyweight, so you can swirl it in there and get it to look just perfectly placed for your design. I love it when everything comes together.
Susan's wondering if that's good for outdoor use?
Yes, as I was saying earlier, just protected area is the best for it. If you can keep it from getting rained on. This particular ribbon is kind of a silk ribbon. I don't think it would do well getting water spots on it. And anything can fade, but if you keep things out of the direct sunlight and protected from rain, hopefully your porch has an overhang, your front door has a roof line that protects it a little bit, that would be the key. There we go. Okay, beautiful. So again, that's the Cozy Winter Wishes. Oh, he needs his snowflakes.
Gotta put in the snowflakes,
I forgot the snowflakes. Mom. You could either hang them in the center, or in this case, it kind of looks like I'm going to put one on each side here.
Yeah.
And you can reach back through and secure them with wire.
I like the snowflakes. They just add that extra element to it. We really, we do it more in-store than we do online for shipping reasons, but we really like to put things in the center of our wreaths as a focal point. You know, a nice little woodland owl. We need to do that this year. We haven't even made one of those this year.
Oh, a wreath with an owl?
Owl, a Santa, you know, something lightweight that can sit in the center and give you a new focal point. Snowflakes, of course, are always the favorite because they just are perfect in rains, aren't they?
They always work well. We do have acrylic clear snowflake ornaments. Wow, this wreath is so deep. I'm having a hard time finding my wire.
Very fat wreath. This would not fit between a door and a screen door. I'll tell you that much.
The snowflakes really show up well. I'm going to put this one more to the top in the center so they're sort of offset like that. Love that look. Almost forgot these little babies. There we go. The hanger is being pulled through to the back here and wired to the frame with a scrap of wire.
Beautiful.
So this one is 24-ish inches. It's probably ending up to be a little bit wider once it's shaped out. It is part of our Holiday Harmony collection. If you love this look, there's all kinds of coordinating accents.
I couldn't find my tape measure. It was right in front of me. Let me just give it a rough measurement here. So yeah, it's like 26 inches. 24 would be the mass of it, and it's about 8 inches deep. So 24 by 8 for that design. Depending on how you shape it, of course, but that is how Mom's turned out.
I'm going to shape them to be off to the, one to the center and one off to the side. There we go. All right, you guys, beautiful. This is a fun piece. You could do this on your own. Just takes a little bit of wire, a little bit of time, and you'll have it all done lickety-split. No problem.
Okay. Well, we are at the hour mark. We have another hour to go. and we are going to be showing you, so today we're doing, this first segment is Snowdrop and Holiday Harmony, and then we also have kits designed for Silver Bells and Cedar Hill, as well as North Star. So that's what's going to be coming up for the rest of the day.
And if you don't know what colors those are, we have red silver, and then we have traditional red with plaids and berries. And then we'll have the blue silver white combination called North Star, which is the one we just finished. And wow, we have had so many things going through the...
I don't need these.
What was that? Yes, we do need them.
Okay.
We found out later we needed them, and we couldn't tag them easily. If you take this one apart, I will make this right here.
Okay.
And I do need that short vase. The short wood vase, let's make that one a wood vase. Nope, the Polonia. This is the...
We have 29 vases, Mom.
You can tell Kayla has named these. Guess what she named this one?
Oh, I have no idea.
This is the Ice Baby drop-in. Kayla, you millennial. Okay.
That's funny. Ice Baby, there you go.
As Kate was mentioning, through the weekend, these very popular Polonia wood vases are on sale, 15% off. This is the short one. The short one is $49.50. It's the 12-inch. We also have a 16-inch. Yeah, you're all laughing too. And I'm going to make the Ice Baby drop-in this design. Now I'm saving this one to work up to because it has many more components than the other drop-in. And when Kate's ready, we'll go through in here and show you what we've got in our lineup. A little bit woodlandy. And this is actually a spin on, this is from our Snowdrop collection. So we're sort of switching.
Ice Baby, regular price is $85. Today we are going to use 2 Snow Twig sprays, a Frosted Long Needle Pine spray, a Winter Joy Cone spray, the Noel Myrtle Frosted Bush, the Snowed White Wax Flower Spray times 2, and a Powder Berry spray.
That would be this one.
Okay.
We're ready. The first things that need to go in are the things that need to end up in the center. So it looks like since I've got 2 of these wax flowers, those can go in a little bit later. I've got 2 of the snow branches, those can go in a little bit later. But these other components, we have single stems of all of them. This one obviously because it has a multi-spray design to it. And you do have to sort of wrap them in and through each other since they're all fighting for the center position. So I'm going to just sort of place the pine spray through the myrtle spray. I'm going to place this big old pine cone spray. This is heavy, heavy stuff. Somehow the paint on these cones makes them really weighty. They have to be in the middle or your design's going to be pulled one way or another. So we are going to secure that in the middle and let all the other stems work through it so that it can stay central and balanced. There we go. That looks great. This vase is the perfect vase for it really because the weight of the vase, the weight of the pine cones, if you had a lightweight vase and those pine cones weren't balanced, they would pull the whole thing sideways. So that is a great start, just sort of standing them in and through each other. Whoops, I just pulled off that pine cone. Didn't mean to pull on that so hard.
It wouldn't be live design if something.
That's right. I have glue right beside me though. So we're gonna grab a little glue and fix this baby right
I did drop a link to the Polonia vase as well. You can find it on our website. Just search the word Polonia and it'll pop right up. We have 2 sizes. This is the short one that we're using in this design. It also looks good in the dotted handle vase we showed earlier.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can't glue this back on. It doesn't feel like it's going into the pine cone. We'll see if it stays. And the powder berry spray tends to be kind of snaggy. It's small and fine. It snags on itself. It just catches on things. So it is good to kind of work it in early and then have things go through it. So I'm threading it down the middle here. And by standing it in whatever finished vase you're planning to make it in, you will have an easier time creating a more proportioned drop-in rather than trying to design it in your hand as a bundle and then go back and make it work in a vase. Now we're going to add the wax flower coming out each direction. So we're pretty balanced here. The pine in 3 parts. Obviously one goes up, one goes out each side. we're going to use these wax flowers going out the sides where the pine is not. So if my pine is here, I'm going to put a wax flower here and here. This so far, I've not cut any of these stems. I don't think these should be the full length stems. None of them were very large, they're all smaller stems. Well, this isn't so hard after all. There's more components, but it actually goes together pretty easily.
I don't know how you put this
Here you
together.
go.
I can't get it perfect.
And then the snow branches are great. I love the snow branches. They work indoors or outdoors. They just add a nice texture, but mostly in this design, it's breaking up all the green with a little addition of white. So we talked earlier about how our wire bundles are available as add-ons for every kit. A bunch of 5 little wires can be purchased. We don't sell floral tape, which you can pick up at your local hobby shop. You maybe have it already. But I do like to tape over my wires rather than using them naked because they grab things better. There's a taped wire with brown versus a naked wire. Either way is gonna work fine. It's a cosmetic thing sometimes also to use a taped wire because it has a nicer, tidier finish. But up to you. Now the other thing I mentioned earlier as well is that when you pull this up to wire, I'm gonna lift it out. I'm gonna grab my wire around it, and I'm not gonna wire right at the top rim of the vase. I'm gonna wire a little bit lower. The reason is if you pinch it together too high up and tighten it down, you're gonna be closing your design. It won't flare open as much. And it's looking pretty as it was laying open. So we just don't want those wires placed too high. We wanna allow the design to drop open. The other thing to note is that if you only put a wire at one point, your stems could twist out. They can manipulate themselves around and move themselves around. But if you drop your wire down another inch and give it another wrap, then you have doubly secured them. They're not going anywhere. And that's my little professional trick to creating a secure bundle. The bendy vine that we use is just a cosmetic thing, more or less. And if you choose to use it, it hides your wired stem, or in the vase of your choice, if the vase is giving you a hard time and your design is flopping around in it, you can actually use the wired vine to help fill up space inside your vase and create a little bit of a buffer, and it balances better if you get a longer piece and swirl it around. So I'm just going to use this one in this narrow necked vase because we don't need a whole bunch inside here. It's quite stable, it sits in there nicely, and the Ice Ice Baby drop-in is not so hard to put together at all.
Do this one next, okay?
There we go. Okay, so this drop-in's completed. I love the look in this vase. Those naturally toned beige painted pine cones add nice dimension. Notice how they pull your eye in, so it gives the design great dimension to have those tucked in deep, the spiky stems standing outwards. Pretty dynamic look. There we go. Thanks everybody. Looks like you're all catching on, getting inspired. Love it. Do we have room on our fireplace for this one? Perhaps we do. We're going to tuck him up here, right where he matches everything. Let's add this little piece of paper to keep track of the design. Gorgeous. So I'm glad you could join us today. I keep going down this list. We're doing a 2-hour segment right now. We'll take a little break and then come back after that for another round. All the things I'm making, we'll get to some different shapes eventually. We're going to be doing a couple of porch pots. We have a big vertical swag lined up here. I'm going to do a small vertical swag next, however.
I love this next swag. It's so cute and cheerful. So if you're just joining us, DIY weekend, 15% off all of these kits, all of our Christmas stems, our winter pine, and all of our vases and planters. So if you see a vase that we're showing today and you want to grab it at a great deal, it is 15% off for the 26th and 27th only. while supplies last. So right now things are selling out. We're getting them restocked into the warehouse. Don't worry. I see panic in Mom's eyes.
What's selling out? We just got started.
Oh, just some of our important pieces, but that's okay. You guys are shopping.
It's probably that acrylic berry.
No, actually, it's the jeweled fern. We've sold a ton.
Oh, well, that wouldn't have been one I was
I
paying
know.
attention
I
to.
wouldn't have thought about that, but that's okay. We have more at the store. We're going to bring over.
Well,
and
open everybody's websites and add to carts, and I'll order them.
Yes. So if something says sold out, just click on that product. It might say we have some at the store. When I tried calling the store, both lines were busy. So I presume that's what everyone is doing.
It's going to be a
It's
day.
just selling out. But, you know, what do you do? We just really appreciate your orders, and we're happy that you're having fun with DIY Weekend.
Jen's got a great suggestion. She's asking that I should design in the Santa boots.
Oh.
I wonder if any of these designs would just perhaps fit in the Santa boots.
Potentially. Actually, I think some of our Cedar Hill designs will, so I'll make sure I grab
She's
a pair
going to
for our
watch.
next
Yes.
segment.
Thank you.
Okay,
Great
ready
idea.
for our next design?
Go ahead.
This is the Trim the Tree Swag Kit. Regular price is $117. It's on sale today and tomorrow for $99.
Okay.
This kit includes the Real Touch Cedar Teardrop. This is part of a collection of Real Touch cedar that comes in 3 swag sizes and a stem, a wreath, a garland, you name it. It's a beautiful collection. Real Touch injection mold, little leaves there. It's beautiful. Love that one. It also has a snowed twig bendy branch. This is a really unique teardrop shaped bendy branch. It's very, very different, but we knew right away this was going to be perfect structure and add weediness to our teardrops and swags. We also have the powderberry spray.
Yes, we just used that one.
The string of vintage silver bells.
These come with it.
And the vineberry bow. Optional is floral wire is linked in this kit. If you need some, you can purchase some from us as well.
Okay, let's get started. The bow's pre-tied for you. We are actually not focusing on tying bows today.
I think my microphone's broken, Mom.
You think it's broken?
Yeah, no one can hear me very well.
Uh-oh. I need to check. Go take my phone and go check.
Okay.
I think that this piece is going to come really, really flat when you get it. I know it is. And when you want to use it, go into, can you see as I'm doing this? Go into the base of these little cedar segments and lift them away from their stem a bit. You don't have to hit every single one, but if you grab a few of them and it's kind of like going into the roots of your hair and lifting, it's the same concept. You got to get down in there and lift a few of these fronds away from each other.
Tease, ladies, tease.
Tease this open. So it will help it look softer, but it's not the kind of thing where you want to just bend it open. You just need to lift it away a little bit and still allow it to drape. That's the secret. It's also not something you want to handle roughly. There's so many little segments on here, but if you work over the stems too hard, you can tear them out.
It gives it a lot of movement when you do that too.
I think when that result is done, you're going to see that it's a little thicker looking because it's going to come to you quite flat. So that's what you're going for. Once we get that shaped out, gosh, it's just the most beautiful piece. It looks so real. Oh, good. Everybody says they can hear you okay, so I'm not sure.
Sounds
Maybe you're working. Maybe you're not working. We spend hundreds of dollars on microphones. Well, let's just get more.
Well, we do drop them, so.
This little piece needs to wiggle in here a bit. Now you can see if you simply laid it on the top, it's not as exciting as if you can get it worked in there. So you do have to sort of, just like the other designs we're making today, lay it down, open up the cedar and tuck it in there, laying the 2 stems together. Put a single wire somewhere. I don't know if this is super critical where this wire goes, because you just want to get maybe the middle. You want to get these 2 pieces secured to each other. And then we're going to lay the cedar back over the top of it. Before I do that, I'm going to also lay in the powderberry. So we've kind of worked open the design. You can see the stem of the cedar going through. You can see the stem of the snow. We're going to lay the powderberry straight in there also. It looks like he is sort of halfway down. Let's lift him up a little bit. Here we have to have room for the bells, and the powderberry is going to show below that. So there's the placement of the powderberry for reference. And then the wire is going across all 3 components to lock it in the middle here. You don't want to wire this powderberry little vine down. I'm going to make sure pieces are still able to freely shape. There we are. Get
that
a little
powderberry is a signature stem in our Snowdrop collection. It was one of the top voted on favorite stems when we were at market in 2023 already. When we were buying Christmas a year ago, we had this one posted and everyone loved this berry, so you can't go wrong with it. It really has a unique, delicate shape with all those little clusters of berries together. Looks fantastic in floral designs and your tree.
So I'm going to just take my cedar and lift it back over top. Some of these stem segments of cedar can be pulled back towards the middle and worked in so that we now are creating layers that are mixed layers instead of having them all separated. We need to blend it back together. So I'm just looking in here to see which cedar pieces can be lifted back towards the center, and then you're weaving your berries and your branches through that. I'm gonna have to be careful with my voice today.
Yeah, right? It's a lot of talking in one day.
Yeah, I've got lemon water with Baja Gold sea salt. That's supposed to save me today. Lemon water with, I don't know, we're doing all the things. Whatever is healthy and can save my voice.
It takes a lot of talking to show all of these pieces. And we have about 30 kits today, so it's definitely a lot of options for you. You're certainly going to find something you love, and if you are new to DIY, it's a great opportunity to get started and get your toes wet in these silk floral designs.
There we go. So they're woven through. We see the branches, we see the cedar, but they're integrated. Now I've just got to hook on the bells and the bow, which is going to secure the top here. By the time I place my bow, we will have handled the top, the winginess of the top. And this one is going to be hooked together like so. It comes this way. They come staggered, they're perfectly placed, and I gotta tell you, this is the easiest thing ever. We're just going to trim off, where did my blue pliers go? The top.
Oh, did you give it to me earlier?
I did.
Here it is.
We're gonna trim
Your
off
cutters.
these two pieces to match, exactly. Here and here. There we go. We don't need those sticking up above the cedar. And we're gonna hook the bells over the top. We're gonna get some dingy dings. Hang on. There we
Jingle
go.
all the way.
It's gonna ding for a minute. So they're gonna stagger just right. And then to secure that in place, the bow itself and the wire that it comes with is gonna lay right over the top of this.
Cute.
Okay, so that's
Model it.
in
That's
place.
just cute. Show that one off. This would make a great gift for someone, and we're gonna shape that bow too. Whenever you get bows from us, shape, shape, shape. Fluff your bows, please. Otherwise, Mom gets
That's
nightmares
right.
and she tosses and turns. Someone didn't shape their bow.
Well, can you make a note to double check with the shippers that they're sending my instructional tiny sheet along with bows,
I
that's
think
still
they do,
happening?
yes, but
Okay.
I will double check.
So I'm securely tightening the wire of the bow across the cedar, across all stems, and it's laying across the jute cord of the bell. Then once you get that in place, you're going to be able to create a hanger in the back here using your wire, whether it's taped or not. You can use a second wire to form the hanger. I'm not going to take the time today to do that, but we would want to make a little hanger, just a single loop, nothing crazy. And our wired ribbon can be tucked in and shaped here a little bit. I like to pull a couple pieces if I can of anything green, or here's a snowy twig. I can kind of stick that into the bow a little bit to help the bow integrate into the design and not just be sitting on the top surface. Let me show you what I mean. These little pieces of cedar have wire in them, so you can kind of lift them and work them through. I'll lift this up and show you. So shape that bow really well. Make sure it has some finishing softness to it. There we
It looks
go.
really integrated that way.
Perfect. Isn't that something? It's simple, it's fresh looking. It is a gorgeous piece. It's not too deep, but I think it was, because of the bells, it would be too thick to go between two doors.
And you know, it's not overtly Christmassy either. It's kind of more wintry than anything. So if you're someone that likes to have something up into January, especially in Nebraska, we get snow into March sometimes.
We sure do.
Very common. So it's really nice to have that wintry style for your front door, something to switch out. So that's the Trim the Tree swag kit. The kit includes the cedar swag, the bendy vine, the powderberry, the jingle bells, and the bow. And that piece can be recreated at home with ease. Just stack and shape. I think shaping is the longest part of this project.
Shaping it well gives you a better result. You'll have a more natural look if you get that all mixed together, and if you don't, and it's not as shaped as it could be, I don't think it'd be the end of the world, because the cedar swag's so beautiful, it's kind of hard to ruin it.
It is. So what a good gift idea. You can also put this somewhere in your house. I have like a narrow wall between a bedroom and a bathroom. Teardrops are a great option for that.
I think you could hang it over a vertical mirror.
Absolutely.
On the mirror.
Yes, it would be really pretty.
So, okay.
All right, so next thing up, we're gonna do your swag. It's good to go. She's grabbing some more of these jeweled stems because you guys have been shopping. They've been shopping, Mom.
I'm designing their shopping.
Yes, so hopefully you guys are finding some good deals today, because all of the kits, all of our Christmas, everyday, and winter stems, and all of our vases and planters are 15% off today and tomorrow. It's quite the deal. It's very early in the season for us to be doing a sale.
It is. Kind of an
But it's just the way, when we were looking at our calendar, we said we have to do a DIY weekend here because Christmas open house is next weekend, and then we have all these events happening. So, you know, our loss, your gain, you're going to get a good deal.
Okay, let me line up my components. I'm going to pull them back straight. So I put together these little items so that they can get photographed, just enough so they can get photographed. Then we have to recreate them for you to see. So we're gonna lay all these things out and give you a look through. Some of these items are just so exciting when we were shopping at market. They just had to be designed up.
Yes, they did.
They did. And this is the stem that you're talking about that we're restocking.
Yes, we're restocking that. I think Sandy's going to get more of that because it had already sold out, and you obviously need it for this look.
Well, we could modify it, but it's kind of late, huh?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, a little late, so we're just going to bring some more over, and hopefully that works out okay.
Okay. Well, this is a gorgeous bow. It's going to go on this design. This is going to make a long door swag type of look, or a long trailing piece. Or it would be a great long mirror accent item as well.
You ready for this one?
I am.
This is the Ice Magic Swag Kit. Regular price is $140. Sale price today and tomorrow is $119 for you.
Okay, where are we at for starters?
So this one includes the Snow Magnolia Leaf Garland. This is a beautiful wide leaf, glittery and kind of icy magnolia leaf. We have a few magnolia leaf items, some new stems that we really like to use in a few of our collections. They have a nice broad leaf, kind of a blue-gray color, coated with a light dusting of snow and glitter. The glitter is like laser glitter. It's really bright and picks up light really nicely. The back of the leaves are just brown finished, and it is a wired structure, so it's nice and stiff. You can shape it how you like. The length on that is about, what, 48?
Yes, 48 inches.
48 inches, so that's a beautiful piece. We're gonna layer the frosted long needle pine drop. This is a really unique, I don't know if you can call it a garland, a teardrop. We called it just a drop because it has 3 long, sprawling pieces with long needle pine. The long needle pine is a light bright green color, kind of a celery green. What do you call it?
That's soft green.
Soft
sort
green
of a mint
color.
green.
It's got a little bit of glitter and a light dusting of snow. It's a very ethereal kind of looking pine. It does have a matching stem available in the online store. Just search the word long needle.
We just used it in that drop-in.
We did. It's kind of a favorite around here. It's a very soft color. The jeweled glitter fern spray, that one is going to be gone very quickly. We might have to switch out what's in the kit. So if the kit says sold out, it's probably because that piece is sold out, but you can buy the individual stems. And then we have the Champagne Pine Berry Pick. This one's really fun mixed pick. with some cedar, some twigs, some berries. It's got a little bit of ice, a lot of glitter. It's a soft champagne color. Kind of picks up almost silver looking, but it's a really nice champagne. And then we have the Shine Bright bow. So this bow is made in-house. It's quite a large bow. You can see it has lots of tails and tendrils. And this one you're going to want to shape after shipping. It has a really interesting combination of 4-inch wire ribbon and 2 styles of 1.5-inch ribbon, that petal leaves and that beautiful, delicate 2-sided velvet.
And the bow's sold separately also if you just want this bow. That must be the tag.
Yes,
yes,
and the
this
link,
bow is separate.
Yep, all of these items are linked in the kit description, sorry. So if you go to the Ice Magic Swag Kit, all of these items are listed and linked.
So it'll be sold in this kit. If you like the bow and just need it for something else, it's also available individually.
Yes, so this beautiful swag kit, let's see how you put it together. I'm excited to see this one.
So the two components basically are the same length. Let me hold them up so you can see here. But what we're going to do is work them into each other, which is a bit trickier. And there are some ways of doing that. This is what we're going to do for starters. We're going to take this stem and curl it into a circle at the top, just like this. By doing that, we're going to get a wider, we're going to create a taper effect. So we're going to have a wider top when we do this. That makes the top a little bit wider. And this circle needs to get secured here in the back. Let's do that. I'm also going to be real careful so I don't pop any of these leaves off. I can see that this particular one is popping off now.
He's been shaped a few times over.
We've had to handle it a couple times, so let's just make sure he stays put. So this is going to go in a circle, and we're going to do the same thing with the pine spray. Make that into a circle also, but basically the one that needs to circle is the longest one here. The longest guy is the main one we want to create the circle out of. That allows the longest piece to become a little shorter, if you catch that drift right there.
So make a loop first.
Make a loop of each product, and then lay the loops on top of each other, and we're going to wire them down. So I'm trying to decide which way do these wingies want to go. We're going to be moving them around a lot. They're all wired. We just need to get a circle on top of a circle. So we're going to flop him over, stack the 2 circles, and reach inside here, lift up a couple of leaves so that I can lay the stems all together and wire my circles down. Not too hard. Turn it over so you can see. Here my little stem topper has come around into a circle. I'm catching all of the stems together in one spot on this side, and I can throw a wire around it so it stays. I do have a lantern swag on the mantle behind me we will be doing next, Kate.
You do?
A little guy. Yep, up on the mantle.
Oh, great.
And you can check to make sure I haven't forgotten anything in the other room. Okay, so these little guys, once they get secured on the back, have formed our background. Just catching them all with the wire going. Have to work it around the leaves. You don't want to wire a leaf down unnecessarily.
Probably wiring that little loop-de-doo.
Yes,
is
I'm wiring the
a
loop.
little tricky.
That's the key. You could just make it straight if you want to. It's not the end of the world. I like the loop thing because it creates a teardrop shape. And it didn't come teardrop shape, so we're making it do that. So that piece, and which direction these pine guys go, that's where you have to make some decisions as you're decorating, as you're creating it. They bend and they flex however you need them to go.
You did.
Great. And that means we sort of have a good outline. What do you think of that so far? We've got a good start. So then we're going to asymmetrically take our fern spray and our cedar spray and sweep them off on the opposite side. So everything over here is coming off that your right. Now we have a little bit of space over here. We're going to sweep these 2 items down and circle them around. I actually can just, I have 2 wires from securing that. This is a very small, slick, sturdy stem. I'm gonna give it a curve. And I'm just gonna stick this end into one of my wires, or you'll have, if it won't go in, you'll have to go back and add wire, but actually it will go in for me. So we've layered him in. I would do that early on, but it is kind of hard to, in this case, it's kind of hard to stack everything because it's fighting with you. There you go. And then we're gonna lay our cedar spray in before I add any more wire and get that stacked up. I'm just gonna sort of tuck that fern so that there's a chunk, deliberately here, a chunk of icy champagne accent material. Cedars on top of the fern. Look at that. I told you we'd work our way up in complexity a little bit. This isn't hard, it's just a matter of arranging. So maybe it's harder to arrange it, but the idea is to create sort of an asymmetrical design of accents in champagne, while over here our bow is gonna drip and drape, and then we're gonna twist these pieces together to help them stay connected. So now where I'm holding my hand, I'll place a couple of wires just to make sure these little guys stay put. Now that I've decided where I want them and how they need to stay, we're gonna get a wire on those. Okay, we're just cruising right along today. We're still in the green and blue color families. We have some gorgeous red items to design today, and also the North Star collection in blue, which I'm excited about. You are all very excited about it. Yesterday we sold so much of our design components, our accent items. It's just going quickly in that look. And our designers will try to stay on top of it and keep more coming along. There we go, we've got that secured. Before we put our bow on, let me twist together a couple of these base pieces here.
The comments are just, wow, wow, wow.
Oh, do you like this?
I love it.
Okay.
Debbie just sent a bunch of hearts. Deborah said beautiful. It is a gorgeous large swag. Wow.
It's a big piece. Now remember, this icy magnolia component comes in a 24-inch spray, a 3-leaf little baby spray to put in your Christmas tree, and this is so show-stopping. Everything we put it in just looks amazing. So if we look into our base pieces here, we've got 2 strands. They have a nice fine wire. They could just hang there, but I was trying to make them secure together. So if I lift and look inside my garland, there's a heavy gauge wire holding all the magnolia leaves together. So you can just kind of go in there, and I'm gonna give it a little slack here, but I'm gonna take my wire of the pine and just flip it around the magnolia, just like that, so that now my teardrop is a little more stationary. Oh look, I can flip it one more time perhaps and not hurt a thing. So by twisting it around the other stem, boom and boom, I've forced the pine to stay where I want to place it. And I'll probably just make one flip with this length because it's a little shorter. So I will just lift it inside here, looking to see where it should flip and feel like a natural placement. Looks like right here. And then twisting it through. It'll just stay. You don't actually need to add any wire to that. So now it turns into a more deliberate integrated teardrop just by flipping those long pine sprays with their own natural wire and getting them to stay put around the magnolia leaf. Here you can see on the back, we made a flip right here, we made a flip here, I made a flip here, boom, boom, boom. Works well to twist those through each other. Love it. Now this is the hard part done for you. I've tied your bow.
Yeah, right? That is always the trickiest bit.
The team has made the bow. I love this ribbon combination. This is a heavy velvet with a lame back. And you've got a little champagne color combo, champagne gold silver combo, and then this is gorgeous champagne mesh. If you would like more ribbon, all of these things are sold on bolts. If you're coordinating, for instance, grab the bolts of ribbon and the champagne backed velvet. Oh yes, that's right. There's no prices here at the warehouse. It's going to say how much it is.
I'll drop a link to all of the ribbon. It's really easy to
10
scroll
yards.
through and see all of the beautiful new ribbon bolts we have. And bows are also included in this link. So if you want to shop some of the bows we have or
There you
ribbons,
go.
here's a link.
So this bow is just going to get tied at the top somewhere on your hoop that you've created.
So I'm just wondering if you do a hanger for that design, or how would you do a hanger?
Well, at this moment, we have a hoop on the back. So you could literally just hang it from the hoop. If you want to make a hanger, I would just add 2 wires here and here. A wire coming at 4 inches apart, and then twist them together to make a bar.
Karen said, how flexible is that to curve or bend around something?
Pretty flexible.
Very flexible. I would
Hanging
argue.
or laying.
Ultra flexible.
I think that the leaves are quite large, so they're not fine and they don't tuck tightly, but they move. And it is all wired. So let me lay this down and try to show you a little, or hold it up and try to show a little bit how it would bend. Here, so if we wanted to give it a bend like this, for instance, we could do that and then droop the ribbon down. It's just using the center core of wire on the Magnolia garland, which is the sturdiest piece. Once you get your ribbon in place, then the fun part would be to arrange your ribbon too and I'd probably hang it wherever you're going to use it. This mesh doesn't have a way to make a really tidy finish on it, so just allow it to fold over. That's kind of the best way to finish that mesh. And these guys should come to you with angled ends. You can spiral them a little bit and place them in there, which is how I would style them up. Just give them a little bit of a curl and pull them down. It looks best if they're just kind of free draping, I think. And then the champagne ones will tuck off to the side, and that makes a gorgeous background. Here's a little curl up here. Spiral it, shape it, tuck it in. You'll have some fun arranging that ribbon. See what you think. It's awesome, it's so fun, and such a beautiful showstopper. Maybe you need 2 for a pair of front doors if you have that. And I love the way the pieces just trail down and through. Those beautiful little fern sprays drop inside there and show up nicely. And wherever you're gonna hang it, I'm sure you'll have fun designing the ribbon and getting that displayed. I think it really needs a show-stopping location, doesn't it?
That is beautiful.
Fun. All right, and again, that one was called, Kate, I've lost my paper, so what did we call this one?
Let's see, that one is called the Ice Magic Swag Kit.
Okay.
Ice Magic Swag Kit. Beautiful design.
Someplace we lost the tag.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna put this over here.
Yep, just set it down.
Remind him to pick that up. Okay, next up, I'm gonna do a swag design.
Lantern. This is going to be our little lantern topper design. So if you have questions on stuff, I'm trying to help the team by going through Facebook messages and emails for Connie. The lines are both busy. There must be getting a ton of calls. So if you want to send a message or an email, I'm helping the team by responding to those right now. If you have questions on what a product is, if you can get more of something, just trying to field some of the questions for the team, because we're going to need another line.
They're super busy.
Both lines are completely busy. Every time I go to call, or Sandy goes to call, it says, we're sorry, they're not available right now.
That happened yesterday. Yesterday was the same thing.
Yeah, so send us a message if it's not super urgent. And yeah.
We'll see. She can see your messages.
Yes, I can see your messages. I'm going through them right now just to help the team. So if I get quiet, that's what I'm doing over here.
So the lantern is going to be sold separately. I'm using
regular price item.
an example lantern. I'll also show the large one and how it looks on different sizes. But these are just accessories over here to help show you how to style a lantern topper swag called the December Magic Lantern Swag.
December Magic Lantern Swag Kit. Regular price is $24. This kit includes the Frosted Curly Twig Spray, one of our favorites, great in a tree, really fun tree topper as well. A mixed winter spruce pick.
One of my favorites because of the blue-green.
An ice leaf bundle.
We've used that one before today.
And a sage green and snowberry pick.
Love this one. It has a matching candle ring also.
And Kayla has also linked all the optional add-ons for this design, including a Sally candle, the lantern, the bead garland, and the wire.
Well, this one couldn't get easier. We're going to end this color group. Oh, I have one more in this color group with an easy one here. But this little bundle comes wired together. The 3 stems are all attached. You can just leave them all attached to each other. Here they've kind of fallen apart, so we're just going to restack them. Most of this is basically just layering one thing on top of the other. I'm just going to take that stem of pine, lay it on top of the twig spray at the point where the twigs are fanning out. And this stem is going to be just used to secure things. But if you are going to style this on a lantern, one thing I like to do is have one piece, that's why this was loose, I remember now, one of these little stems going backwards. So all of these are going to stack and sweep this direction. One piece is going to go this direction, just as a balance, a counterbalance, and a little bit of disguising our stems that are going to be used for securing. So if you stack these components up, you get this nice little fat asymmetrical swag. And most of the things about lantern swags that have been successful is having extra vines to wrap and secure around your lantern rather than just a single bundle dangling at the top. If we have some stems and branches that have length, we can wrap them around and through our lantern and it becomes a little bit more incorporated. Okay, so this is a wire that's taped. I'm gonna grab the center section here. Looks like I'm gonna be able to cover this stem so it's secured and all the rest of the stems, calling this the center. If you're using 2 wires and you leave these long tails of wire sticking out, you can go back and twist them together to make your hanger. I'll show you how. So this wire is going to hang out there, and I'm going to go, an inch or so this direction. I'm going to lift some of these little short materials so I don't wire them down. I'm going to move down my swag another inch and add a second wire. I am using taped wires. Every bundle and kit has a link to our wires that we sell. And on the back, I will have these 2 tails of wire sticking out that to make a hanger for most lanterns, depends on what you're using yours for, but like this one, it has a finial on the top. Many of our lanterns have some kind of point or finials type structure. So if I take these 2 wires that are coming out the back and maybe make them 5 inches long at most, you just twist them together to make a generous hanger, depending on the finial or how your top structure is, so that I can hook that on there, and you just twist the 2 ends together to make a circle. I find it easier if you have 2 wires separately coming, rather than trying to just take 1 wire and make a circle out of it. If you compare doing it both ways, you'll find that this circle is always going to be more secure having a 2 wire base versus using 1 wire, looping it around. I mean, you ask why I don't do that. It's because you'll have this more secure, stable separation here rather than them both coming from one point making a circle, which kind of it's floppy. You would have to try it just to know exactly how I'm meaning that. So with these extra parts and pieces, you can now spiral them around your lantern structure to get them placed. The structure's secure. It's wired in 2 spots. We've cut all the stems. You can cut this paper wrap end off if you want to, or we can just curl it up. If you cut it, you're going to want to put a dot of glue so that it doesn't unwrap. That is exactly what will happen otherwise. Paper wrap stems just disassemble themselves. And then our twig sections over here that are winging out going crazy, they can be either spiraled up, because this is a very manipulative little component here. You can really manipulate it. Or I can pull them inside, tuck them down, and let them come through, which is where our integrated idea is now happening. I think it looks great when you can get things to look like they are part of it rather than perching atop. So here we're bending to drape, and that looks much better already. So some of the other fun things that you can add, this little bendy twig is just fun, you can spiral it, but we've got choices of candles here. Like this is our fun herringbone candle we talked about yesterday. It's fabric wrapped, it's a 4-inch candle, I think. It has an off-on switch, and it does, 2 AA's, that's how it operates. We also have like a little bit of a bead garland here, so cute. This one says Merry and Bright. There's another little holiday sentiment. These are $9.50. I forget what the other one said. Joy or something. So you can add that as an accent in the top of your lantern. And I think what it needs inside here is a little candle ring, which we do have. I just don't have it here in the room.
The other option is the salvie candle.
The salvie candle's bigger.
Yes, but it's perfect size for that.
So with the candle ring, that would help beef up the base inside here, or Kate's suggestion for our blue-green color theme today is the blue-green salvie candle. I'll show you the color, it's so pretty. That one would fit very nicely and look a little bit larger in the bottom. And then this potential, this little white berry here has its own matching candle ring. So that's what I would be finding if you have a lantern that you can do the candle ring inside and make a topper like this. This is the December Magic lantern topper. Such an easy piece to make. If you want to put it on a larger lantern, it will fit on a larger lantern also. And I've got one behind me that I can show you. I don't want to run out of time though to make our last design. This piece. So we've got 2 sizes of this style. These are heavy iron lanterns. Very popular. They have a rusted, distressed, vintage finish with heavy metal weight. $89.50 for that size. And the little small guy, I must have covered up the price tag. So let's just shift this over to the other one and see how it looks on the other lantern. 2 different sizes. This is about a 10-inch lantern, and this one is probably about a 20-inch lantern. Cute also. We can use the branch itself to hook across the top. We can tuck that down there. Proportion-wise, it's also very nice on the large lantern. Works well there too. Lots of fun things you can do with lanterns. I like to stick like a Santa or a snowman or a reindeer or something inside for an accent. So cute. You're gonna have fun with this and arranging these designs. So again, this bead piece is not included, it's just an add-on little message tag. The design itself is going to fit on either side of the lantern, just depends how full you want it. Choose some candle rings or get some extra pine sprays to lay inside your lantern to get it all to coordinate. And with this blue-green color, the deluxe candle is called Salvie. The color called Salvie is the perfect blue-green to bring it all together and help it blend perfectly. Okay,
Cute.
we've got
Okay,
one
so
last design.
one last design. You got 15 minutes, perfect timing. And I am just bombarded with all these amazing orders. Bombarded is not a good word. I'm just excited to see all these fun orders going out. I know you guys are going to have so much fun designing these Christmas pieces. I hope that you're enjoying the DIY weekend so far. So after this next design, we'll take a 1-hour break, and then we'll come back on at noon Central Time for 2 hours. And our next segment, I think we're going to do Cedar Hill. Is that?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then we'll finish up the day with the blue North Star look will be the end of the day.
So yes, that is what we're going to be doing. The store does seem to be busy on the phone, but if you send an email or a Facebook message, I'm just trying to go through those to help the team out.
What about local pickups today, Kate?
If you place an order today, I don't know if they'll be ready today because there's so many orders. But if you give the store a call. I don't know if that's going to work. Send a message and I can kind of filter through. If you are coming to town and you want to pick up your order that you just placed today, and then they can try to prioritize getting that over to the store.
It's worth the shot.
Some people here at the warehouse trying to get orders packed up and sent over to the store and out the door with UPS. But, you know, it's just a crazy Saturday. I love it. The energy is awesome.
That's okay. I'm glad you're joining us today. It's a beautiful fall day here, and I know you could be doing many things, so I appreciate you hanging out with me.
Yes. Okay.
The last design for this segment today.
Yes, this is the Snug and Warm Swag Kit. Regular price is $93. The sale price today and tomorrow is $79. This kit is made on a spruce pine swag. This is a real touch, light green colored swag, and it has a bunch of little mini cones throughout. Beautiful, wispy, and airy look. In the center, we're going to use a winter white poinsettia. This is a natural look poinsettia with that crisp white and green. We're going to use the opal white maidenhair fern spray. Love this one. Very bendy, like a bendy fern. We're going to use 2 snowed white wax flower stems. Beautiful wintry stems with a little dusting of snow on them. And then, of course, a powderberry spray, which is essential for our beautiful snowdrop collection. So this is the Snug and Warm Swag Kit.
Okay, I dropped my ribbon. The ribbon must be an optional suggestion.
Optional.
You'll have to grab that for me.
Okay.
So we carry lots of ribbon by the bolt, and these little ribbon pieces are just chunks that I was going to weave through to show you. We also have a suggested bow that is from that collection that would be an option to add on as well, sold separately. So lots of different choices in our Snowdrop ribbon collection. This particular bow that you could select if you decide when I finish that it looks like it needs a bow to you. For $16.50, this is the Vine Berry bow. And we also will be using some of these little pieces of ribbon here, just yardage. And these will be purchased in bolts and cut up for this purpose, or you can tie a bow out of them on your own too. It just depends on what you're visualizing. Now this spray is a pre-made swag shape, so you can see how it's wide, it tapers off. The length of it is all that in the kit, so we know that the size is all noted there, or do I need to measure so people are understanding the size? I guess you took the tape measure.
Yes.
So it is a good size piece. You could design this to hang vertically or horizontally at 40 inches. It's also a gorgeous table centerpiece. So table centerpiece, horizontal piece, vertical piece, you decide. You might want to know which direction you plan to use it when you're designing it and give it a little bit of a spin that way. We're going to tuck in our fern spray first. Now this is one spray. Isn't that amazing? There's so much going on there. It's kind of got bendy vine right here. And because of this vine and the structure, we can form this into a long tapered piece also by bending one piece backwards down the stem, letting one go straight out, one goes straight up. We'll work him into the middle a little bit. And you really don't need to cut the end off of the stem. You can just firmly give it a little bit of a spiral and it will look natural, tucked right in there with a little spiraled end. No big deal, don't have to cut that. So let's lay that just like our other designs. We have to sort of lift and separate our cedar open or our pine, our fir spray. This is the fir. So many different kinds of natural touch greens. We want to get down to the center, opening it up so I can lay this fern spray as best I can down the center of the swag, and we want to center the fern. So let's eyeball that. Here we go. It's kind of coming out balanced, reaching the same distance from each tip is what we're aiming for. So that would be the center there. And isn't that working out nice? So this tall piece, don't worry about him. We'll get him tucked in there because he'll spiral down and be snug, no problem, at the end. But what we're going to do is make sure all of our stems get stacked up so we can wire over them. As you know, that's the key component. We have 2 wax flowers, so let's lay those in there next. The wax flowers have 3 parts, which is just handy because when you lay those down end to end, they'll make a nice balanced look here. It looks to me like they're going to cross over in the center and have quite a bit of overlap with extra stems. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut about 5 inches off of each stem. Thanks for joining me, by the way. Looks like we have a lot of people watching. If you grab a kit, you can always find this video there on your Facebook page and reference it so that you can watch it again to create your kit when you receive it. The team is actually boxing today for shipments that will go out Monday morning right away. It'll be moving on Monday. It'll be ready to go when the UPS driver gets here. So now we've got them stacked inside the main stem of our first wag. Now, last thing to lay in there for the split is the powder berry. So we bend part of that back. Now you can always cut these things off. The reason I show to bend them if they work that way is because it ensures that you're not going to have a loose end that's short that you have to work so hard to secure. As long as you get at least one wire on this, it's not going anywhere. So it's a little bit of an easier method to bend the stems back. Quicker, easier, more secure. Again, one's winging up and 2 are sticking out. So we're going to place that down the center of our swag here. And once we get this arranged and tucked in, we still have our stems visible so that we can find a place to wire here and here. We're going to aim for 2 wire locations, and our poinsettia is lovely. We got to get him secured also. So this piece is always a trick because if you get it too flat in here, you're going to be able to, he's going to take those trees.
Oh.
So you're going to want him to stand up enough that he has a little volume, not too flat down in there. I'm kind of showing you. If you wire it too flat, it's going to look squished in there. If you get some height and he stands up a little bit, for a table purpose, that's what I would prefer. But again, on the door, maybe you need it to be a little bit snugger. So depending which way you use it, on the door, snug and tucked in might be nice. On your table, standing upright might be better. Think about that as you wire. Regardless, you're gonna have to lose some of the stem. This is a pretty thick stem, so if you were to curl it, I think it would show a little more than you want to see in there. So I would choose to cut it off about like so, just so that there's enough stem that I can get 2 wires across that stem, because he will spin if he doesn't get wired down securely. So then we're aiming to put him in the center and get that eyeballed so that, you know, you could be strategic and measure, but I just eyeball it. There he is. Okay, he's in the center. So now our wires, we are going to use these 2 wires here that are 20 gauge wire. We sell the wire and it is recommended in the kit. So grab the wire if you need it, or get it from your local craft and hobby store. We just want to get 1 wire down the middle and then a wire a couple of inches each way of the center. So total of 3 wires is what I'd aim for. I'm threading it through at this point in the middle and grabbing the neck of the poinsettia stem right before it starts going upwards. I'm just grabbing the part that's still tucked into the swag. Don't want to make him forced to lay down any lower than I had him positioned, but right at the natural place where he is touching the swag, we're throwing a wire in there. And then we need 2 more wires to get this secured. If you were purchasing a bow, at this point your bow would tuck under your flower. And the wire from the bow would also be going over your swag, so that could be an option. It would fill in, if you like that bow, kind of sharing the center with your flower, and it would live under the flower. It would be tucked under if you wanted to grab that bow. This is a pretty combination. The bow has just enough fresh white in it, just enough beiginess. And again, this is the berry vine bow that was $16.50. So it's going to be off to the side because we're showing it with just a little bit of ribbon woven through. Okay, this is wire number 1 in place. Wire number 2 is going down the way a little bit here to secure nicely. And just like everything else that I've been making today, once we get the wire on, then we have to go back in and rearrange our greens and our filler stems to blend them. never looks finished if it still looks stacked. We want to blend all of our stems together. So I've got one wire in place, 2 wires in place here. There we go. I am happy with how this is looking. These fresh greens with this natural looking poinsettia, it just seems that this is a real design. About as realistic as it goes for components, in fact. Beautiful. So as we've got 3 total wires in place, there's some movement down here, but we know we've hit each stem with 2 wires, so nothing's gonna go anywhere. It's not wired so flat that we make a flat design. We want to allow some volume as we're shaping. So I'm just going to go back through and kind of lift the material up and lay some of our fur back in over the center stems. Just pull a couple pieces through. Now the goal is to mix these pieces together and make sure our components look blended. They're not flat, they don't have a stacked appearance. I'm kind of lifting everything, twisting it through each other, pulling some of the fur back in. You get the idea?
Oh, they love that contrast. Ivy said, I absolutely love the greens and whites, the icy designs, it's beautiful.
It's very pretty and very fresh, and I have had more comments on our Snowdrop collection. If you love this look, this is from the Snowdrop collection. This piece, which was the long wingy fern, has some extra length to it. No worries, just take your finger and kind of give it a spiral and bend it. Now by making a little circle out of the stem, 1 or 2 circles, it shortens it and it helps tuck it back in there. So then we just wiggle it through and it looks very pretty like that. So no problem at all, and it frames out nicely. Pull a little piece this direction. So let's hold it up and see what we think. Is it a door swag? Is it a table piece?
I think
Is
a
it
table
vertical?
piece, personally.
I like the table piece idea. If you have our beautiful deluxe taper candles in ivory, or
Someone wondered if our pre-ordered green candles would look good with that.
I think they are too emeraldy.
Yeah.
I think
The blue would be fun, but I would actually go with cream. Just to
cream would
balance
be
that
my
color.
choice too. Yeah, this is more of a brighter, fresh green, not a deeper emerald green, and those candles coming in will be more emerald. So here we have a horizontal look, if you choose to do it horizontally, a vertical look, if you want to do it vertically, in which case I would change the position of that flower a little bit to get him tucked in there. And now we're going to just take a yard of ribbon and show how that could change the look too. This is a single yard of our woven. I forget the name of it, with the celadon green. I just cut a little V in the end. The center is here. So if you laid that in and figured out where it can tuck through, you can just weave a bit without creating a full-on bow, which can intimidate people. If you don't want to do a bow, you don't have to. The wired ribbon will tuck and stay in place pretty nicely when it's just staying at your house, right? Weaving, weaving. There you go. That one's tucked in. A little bit going each way. And then this one, about a yard also, can be tucked in. And weave through the other side, and it gives you just a little interest. So up to you. Do you like the idea of ribbon?
I like the ribbon. It's a nice addition. So this is the Snug and Warm Swag Kit. Regular price was $93. The sale price today and tomorrow is $79. If you missed the sale, don't worry. There'll be other sales in the future, or you can just buy it before it sells out. Might be sold out by the time you're watching this video. Who knows?
Everything's at
trying
risk.
to keep things in stock. So that is just, yeah, a beautiful piece. Kathy said, absolutely gorgeous. Rosalie said, I love this in every look. Oh, fun. I'm glad you guys like it. It is just a beautiful piece, and we are loving this kit. So we're going to be back. We're going to take a break. Mom's going to drink some water. She's going to rest her voice. We're going to take a break for an hour. We'll be back at noon Central Time, and we're gonna dive into Cedar Hill and Silver Bells collection kits. So
very
shopping.
fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun look. That means we'll be getting to the traditional red look with
Yes,
berries, and
gotta have
then
our reds.
getting that going for the next segment, ending up the day with the blue and the silver collection, which is called North Star.
All right,
All right,
we'll be
everybody.
back.
We'll see you soon.